This is the Drive-In Podcast, episode 35, May the 4th edition. Take one. Bada bing, bada boom. Welcome to episode 35 of the Drive-In Podcast. On today's episode of the Drive-In, we have the Express Checkup with yours truly, Dr. O. We have our review of the new summer blockbuster from HBO Max, Mortal Kombat, and we have our top billing of the greatest Star Wars characters. So use the bathroom now, grab your popcorn, and enjoy the 35th episode of the Drive-In Podcast. All right, fellas, Drive-In boys, it's summer blockbuster season. May the 4th be with you. A lot of stuff going on. Nez, our resident Mortal Kombat fanatic, how excited are you to be reviewing this movie on this day?
Oh man, I have so much to say about this movie. I can't wait to get into that review. I honestly, none of us have traded thoughts about this review, which makes me even more excited because I can't wait to hear your thoughts on the movie after watching it. I just can't wait to get into it. There's a lot to be talked about, and I don't want to tease the review quite yet or my thoughts on it. But I'm so excited to hear what you guys have to say. Let's just say that. So excited.
I'm stoked to hear your thoughts because Ricky Flicks and we're not as much of video game guys. We're not Mortal Kombat guys. So I can't wait to hear how faithful this movie was to the everyday fan for Mortal Kombat. So
Right,
I'm
right.
jacked to hear what you have to say. Ricky Flicks, you pumped to talk about Mortal Kombat?
I am pumped to talk about Mortal Kombat, and I have on this podcast before I've talked about true love being back or being dead. And I was going to come in here saying true love is alive. Ben Affleck is back. I tweeted about this.
Oh, no.
Ben Affleck is back, seen with J-Lo. They could be just friends, but I have never seen them in a picture before, at a non-award ceremony. But then just moments ago, Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, marriage over.
Love is dead.
Love is again dead.
Love is dead.
Again. Unbelievable.
That's
Sorry.
What are the deets on that, Ricky Flicks? You're our resident
Bill
gossip
Gates
guy.
Bill Gates
What's Bill doing?
Bill Gates just
Gossip
released a
expert.
statement on Twitter and all his social media. We were all in the lobby here on our Zoom, and I just saw it. I was just like, oh my God. I was prepared to say true love is alive, Ben Affleck being back, and all of a sudden it's dead again. I can read what Bill Gates, it was Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, but it's kind of long, so it's actually, I don't want to
Okay.
read it.
Ben Affleck being seen in public with Jennifer Lopez does not mean that true love is alive.
But coming out of a car when they were together in the back seat.
You know what Affleck's doing? He's rising like the Phoenix tattoo on his back. He is so back. Ben Affleck, might be coming back as Batman. You know, he's going to be in the Flash, and all of a sudden he's with J-Lo. His stock, it plummeted earlier. But
The Last Duel.
it's creeping up right now.
The Last Duel, Ridley Scott, Deepwater with Ana de Armas. Like he is so back.
He's feeling it.
Yeah, well, I'm excited. And one thing I do want to tease for our listeners here is it is May the 4th. It's our May the 4th episode. So we have a special May the 4th edition of Top Billing coming at the end of the episode where we will draft our favorite Star Wars characters. And I cannot wait because my big board is looking clean. Who won Top Billing last week?
Naz, me and you tied, but we didn't get a ton of voters. We didn't get
Okay.
a ton of voters.
Didn't get as many as
Interesting.
usual.
Interesting. I was going for 3 in a row, right?
I think so.
I was going for 3 in a row.
I think so. I
On a bit of a
thought my
tear.
draft was strong. I thought I was going to have it for sure. I had the Scorsese, I had the Samuel Jackson. I thought my weakest pick was Rosamund Pike for actress, and I still did not accumulate the amount of votes to secure the victory. But I'm still hungry, right? We're looking for a W this week. Ricky Flicks, you have work to do.
My miscellaneous pick was unbelievable. Slept on. Best miscellaneous
I
pick
agree.
by far.
I agree. I liked your miscellaneous pick for sure.
And I think we also what we also made a mistake on before we get to the checkup here, we had to like say like what actually won, and then we did. It's hard to like display like the snub, like what should have
True.
won instead of it, because that's a part of the pick, you know.
It's hard making those graphics, fitting it all into one page
Oh,
and making
Ricky
it
Flex, I'm
clear.
not putting it all on you. I'm not trying to say that.
I wasn't winning no matter what. I didn't get. If I had the social network, things would have changed in my eyes. But Nez did a smart.
That slip.
Nez
You let
did a
that
good
slip
job with
way
that. I'll
too
take
far.
the L. I won't say I should have won because I should not have. I will say that. I am a man of integrity.
You got to take your man. You
Mhm.
You have the opportunity.
But I'm ready to hear some Marvel news, Dr. O.
I think you came to the right place, Ricky Flex. Let's get going with the checkup. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Style. Marvel has released a teaser for Phase 4 as part of a new Marvel Studios Celebrates the Movies trailer. The first Eternals footage has arrived. The teaser for Eternals gives us our first look of Best Director winner Chloe Zhao's new superhero team in the MCU, as well as a shot of Angelina Jolie's character Thana in action. Eternals will finally hit theaters on November 5th, 2021. Also in the Marvel teaser trailer for Phase 4, we have Black Panther 2, officially being titled Wakanda Forever. Ryan Coogler is back in the director's chair and has finished rewriting the script for the sequel following the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman. Wakanda Forever is due out on July 8th, 2022. Moving along with the Marvel news, Captain Marvel 2 is titled The Marvels and is expected to heavily feature Iman Vellani as Miss Marvel alongside Brie Larson. Miss Marvel, the Disney Plus series, will be debuting later this year and will have a strong tie to the Captain Marvel sequel. So The Marvels will release on November 11th, 2022. Next, Fantastic Four was also teased as a future movie to be released in Phase 4. We're getting it sooner than we expected. The Fantastic Four reboot will be the project that ends Phase 4 of the MCU. Next, we're not done yet. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 releases on May 5th, 2023. And then finally, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania releasing on February 17th, 2023, featuring Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror. That does it for the MCU news. Let's move over to DC. Finn Wittrock has been cast as Guy Gardner in the Green Lantern Corps DC series coming to HBO Max. Wittrock has been in most notably American Horror Story, The Big Short, and La La Land. His rendition of Green Lantern will be the lead in this upcoming series. Moving on to another blockbuster franchise, we have Judas and the Black Messiah star Dominique Fishback in the final talks to lead the next Transformers movie for director Stephen Caple Jr., who famously helmed Creed 2 starring Michael B. Jordan. And then to wrap up our checkup here, we have some casting news with Thomasin McKenzie playing Olympic gymnast Carrie Strung in an Olivia Wilde directed biopic named Perfect. Perfect charts the story behind Carrie Strung's historic Olympic vault to secure America's first ever gymnastic team gold. McKenzie is a breakout star following her appearances in Jojo Rabbit, Leave No Trace, and she will also be appearing in M. Night Shyamalan's new film, Old, oxymoron for you, and Edgar Wright's Last Night in Soho. That does it for this week's Express Checkup. What Marvel project in Phase 4 are you most excited for?
Oh man, there's out of the ones that were in this trailer, there's two. Wow. You know what? I'm gonna do it. Fantastic Four. That was just everything before that was just, yeah, we already knew this was all coming, right? The Eternals trailer, that was sweet to finally see. I didn't see Kit Harington, but we got a little taste of Angelina Jolie and obviously Chloe Zhao coming off a big time Oscars. So excited for that one, but just the Fantastic Four tease of just the logo, not even like saying anything, no footage, not even like a word. That was pretty cool to see. So I'm not necessarily most excited for it, but just showing that just got my goosebumps going. Like, I'm just chills.
Absolutely.
I was about to say, man, that's what you're most excited about? Fantastic Four?
John Watts.
I mean, come
John
on.
Krasinski, maybe.
Come on. The next Black Panther is called Wakanda Forever. I'm so excited about this rewrite. That's a great name.
Chills.
And I honestly think they're going to handle it amazingly. I think Coogler's going to do a really good job. And they were already kind of teasing. People were already, when Chadwick was still alive, they were teasing that his sister might end up taking over the helm at some point. I think that's what's going to end up happening here. I'm just super excited about it. I can't wait to see where they're going to take the story, and I know they're going to do an amazing job honoring Chadwick Boseman and his legacy.
So this is interesting, all these like projects being listed, because a lot of these we already knew were happening, but now we're getting confirmed release dates, we're getting titles. The Fantastic Four I'm fascinated by, because this is actually coming a lot sooner than I expected. I didn't expect it to be a part of phase 4, this immediate phase in the MCU that's already been kicked off with WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So seeing that come together, and especially how they kind of tease Reed Richards in Fantastic Four, that has me excited. But I agree with Nez too. Wakanda Forever, that gave me chills when I saw that title. It's perfectly labeled as such. And Ryan Coogler being back in the director's chair and writing, I think it's going to be something special. And we already know there's going to be a series on Wakanda on Disney Plus as well. And as Nez famously said, this could be the MCU's Game of Thrones. So there's a lot of exciting things stemming from Wakanda. Okay, a lot of big things happening. And then, guys, we got to talk about Eternals. Eternals, that's the first footage we've seen. We've been waiting for a trailer, I would say, going on a year now, because this was initially supposed to debut last November of 2020. We're now getting it this upcoming November in 2021. We saw Richard Madden. We see Angelina Jolie. That's pretty cool. We're getting her in an MCU film, such an established actress who's older in age. It's like we just had Allegra de Fontaine with Julia Louis-Dreyfus in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but like just even at a higher level. It's Angelina Jolie. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool to see that, especially like you said. We've all been wanting to see this movie, and it's supposed to come out last year. Finally, we saw the first footage. Like, how did nothing ever get leaked from this movie? I don't know how. Any like on-set photos or anything. I don't know how, but
that's an
very cool to
accomplishment
see
in itself.
Right. Yeah. For a Marvel project, look at Spider-Man.
Yeah. Chloe Zhao, man, we have a immediate best director winner going to helm a Marvel movie in the same year she won. This is gonna be a monumental moment in her career, and I can't wait to see what she's gonna put together. It's gonna be, some people are hailing it like this is gonna be like a top 5 MCU movie ever made, just because of the ensemble cast. Chloe Zhao, it's minimal green screen. I believe they want to use a lot of practical effects in this movie, and I mean, and we got to see Kumail Nanjiani in his Jack Glory.
Of
course.
He's got to be on some roids, man. I mean,
absolutely. Geez. No, that's not natural. Natural.
That's insane.
Oh my goodness. Other than that, like I said, the MCU news, it was fire. It was great to like get that little jolt of energy in the beginning of the day. The rest of the checkup, it's just like Ricky Flex was talking about it off camera, where you're like, yeah, that's okay. That's cool. And then looking. Yeah, go ahead.
They're making a whole movie on the Olympic. I mean, it's a great thing, but like the Olympic vault thing. I mean, like, is there really that much backstory to it? I don't know.
I just know the one moment. Know the one moment, man. So it's just like, and they won a team gold medal. It's the first one. Maybe there's a much bigger backstory than what we're aware of, and I believe it's based on a book that came out. And so maybe I'll do investigative.
When does this come out?
No idea. Thomasin McKenzie just got cast.
Summer Olympics are this summer, and that's when I get super into gymnastics for about 6 weeks, and then I just forget about it. But if it's coming out relatively soon, it could be great timing for the movie to come out, and maybe that's what they're planning on doing, because I think everybody's going to get really hyped. I mean, I get so heavily invested in the Olympics,
of course,
especially gymnastics and like swimming and stuff like that. Wow, that's right around the corner, guys. I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah.
But I think this movie dropping right after it would be really cool and strategic. So,
yeah, I mean, I hope so. That means they have to get it done fast. So, I mean, it might be bad timing by Olivia Wilde. She gotta be quicker. You gotta be on your toes there. Come on now. But Thomasin McKenzie's pretty cool. I love her. Like, she's great in Jojo Rabbit. I'm excited to see her in Last Night in Soho. I think it still came out of her in Last Night in Soho, looking really creepy, like by a window. Like, she's got a lot of potential for her career. And I haven't seen Leave No Trace, but I've heard nothing but great things about it. I can't wait to see what she does. Like, it seems like she has a future. Like, she's going to be in a superhero movie before you know it too. It's just like that vibe you get. Like, she's like a young up and comer. Like, she's doing awesome, critically acclaimed stuff. She'll eventually become a superhero. Just like all these projects we're talking about.
Well, going on to Whitrock. That's my guy from The Big Short. I loved him in The Big Short.
Mm.
I didn't like the movie Judy, but I thought he was good in it. And hey, I think he's a good actor and he has potential to do great things. And this is just another step being a superhero. Guy Gardner, the second Green Lantern, like that's just for an HBO Max series. Like that's going to be awesome for him. And hopefully that's great. And then after that, he gets more leading roles, not necessarily the side roles like you saw in The Big Short, a brief cameo in La La Land. You know what I mean? So hopefully he gets more
Star making turn here.
Right, exactly. So that's like the news outside of the Marvel that I said, oh, that's interesting because I don't know why. After The Big Short, I was like, dang, like he's like, I like him. He's good. So I'm
Dude,
like,
he
dang.
looks like a superhero. He's just like too
Yeah.
good looking of a guy. He's just made for Hollywood. Like
yes.
I thought he looked like a Nightwing for Batman. He's just like, you're like, okay, that guy's gonna be a superhero. Like he just looks like a superhero. So yeah, I'm excited for that too. Guy Gardner, it's interesting because he's like the third most known Green Lantern compared to like Hal Jordan, John Stewart. John Stewart famously going to be portrayed in the Snyder Cut, but also got deleted by Warner Brothers. So it's going to be interesting to see them like kind of explore that universe and see how it connects to the DCEU, especially with the Flash movie coming out. Like how close is going to be connected to it. We shall see. But Finn Whitrock podcast, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Finn Whitrock podcast.
And also, just a quick note, we mentioned Ben Affleck, Deep Water. He's also in that as well, coming out next year, January.
It's all connected. All right. That does it for the checkup this week. I'm going to throw it over to Nez for our highly anticipated review of Mortal Kombat. Finish him!
All right. Thank you for that wonderful, wonderful checkup, Dr. O. You really breezed through so much news, so much news there this week. And thank you, as always, for checking us up. We now move on to our review of Mortal Kombat. Right now, it is trending at 54% on Rotten Tomatoes, but has a 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb, meaning, people are ranking that a little bit better, the common folk. It's available to see in theaters or on HBO Max. And it's about, if you don't know, it's about based off of Mortal Kombat, the video game. But the synopsis of the movie is MMA fighter Cole Young finds sanctuary at the Temple of Lord Raiden, training with experienced fighters Liu Kang and Kung Lao. And rogue mercenary Kano, Cole prepares to stand with Earth's greatest champions to take on the enemies from Outworld in a high-stakes battle for the universe. So let's just get right into it, guys. What you want me to just? Should I just go?
You have to start.
Roll.
I have to start.
You have to start.
All right.
He's hot.
Woo. Here's what I'll say. Compared to the original Mortal Kombat movie, it's Oscar worthy. It's amazing. Just judging it objectively, not that great of a movie. Judging it as a Mortal Kombat fan, I think they did pretty good. So there's 3 different layers there, right? So if you compare it to the old one, it's amazing and beautiful. If you compare it just completely objectively, it's not a good movie. If you compare as a Mortal Kombat fan, it was all right. One of my biggest issues, I think, with this movie is just like, we get it. There's a video game. They tried so hard to fit in stuff from the video game. Flawless victory, fatality. Like, I was like, oh, like it made me cringe every single time they
Flawless
said something.
Victory. That made me laugh out loud. I kind of loved it.
And then what was that? This is where you test your might. And it's like, okay, got it. Call back to the game. Like, I understand.
Level.
I play come. Oh my God. But the thing is, like, the fatality before the flawless victory with Kung Lao, sick. The action in this movie, sick. The blood, the gore, like, oh my God. And that's what us Mortal Kombat fans, that's what we love. That's what we enjoy. And we had a couple good versions of some characters. It was a little corny, but I thought Kano did a really good job. He kind of carried the movie on his back, in my opinion, because I don't know if you guys even know this, but Cole Young he's not a Mortal Kombat character.
Yeah,
they made him for
I was gonna ask you about that because I've seen the 95 version. And by God, that movie, I would rank that in the single digits.
In the single digits. It's so
Yeah,
bad.
I think that.
Sometimes it's
Yeah,
on sci-fi or yeah,
yeah,
and
it's
I
that.
watch it and I'm just
Yeah,
like, oh man.
I've seen only clips of it, and then I was like, you know what? I can't like go on a podcast and talk about the Mortal Kombat 2021 without referring to the 95 version. So I have to watch it in its entirety, just straight through. And I'm really mad I did because it was that bad. It was so bad.
Jeez. So like when people compare those two movies, one thing I constantly hear, like I have been hearing, well, the biggest gripe with the one from 95 is that like Mortal Kombat, as Nez said, it's all about the finishing, and then it's all about like the killing of the one-on-ones. And the 95 one, it's like PG-13. It was like there was no brutalness to it. And I think Nez nailed it with this one. Man, they didn't pull any punches, man. There was some brutal deaths in this movie. Super bloody,
Brutal.
and like people getting like sliced in half. Yes, it was cheesy, but I mean, it must have been so enjoyable for like Mortal Kombat fans, and it seemed like this was just geared towards that. They weren't necessarily concerned with making this, as I said before, Martin Scorsese considered cinema, not cinema, right?
No.
We're talking about like, okay, making sure we satisfy these fans, giving them like all those Easter eggs, all those hints, and all those phrases and whatever. It felt like an 80s macho movie at some points with these phrases. And there wasn't a lot, like, I would say, like storytelling for each character. They didn't really care about that. But in that regard, I think it is successful. And I would not be surprised if this actually like spawns a franchise, you know?
I mean, it's the most watched movie of the year so far.
Mhm.
It's definitely, I mean, they're
Oh,
leading
wow.
up.
I
They
didn't
do,
even, wow.
Yeah, it beat
You know-
Kong, Godzilla Kong by a lot. It
Yeah.
got almost 4 million U.S.
Yeah, it's good. It's
households
a
watched it
franchise.
on
it's
HBO Max.
no, it's like a cinematic universe. Like it's gonna be. I think they're on the hook for 2 more movies. I think they're on the hook for 3 movies.
Well, the ending, like they did a little tease at the
a
end.
tease Johnny Cage, baby.
Johnny
Oh,
Cage.
wait, I guess this is a spoiler review. Sorry, guys.
Well, like
Um,
it's just that's not.
Yeah,
really bad.
I mean, a lot of people's issue with this movie, besides it being, really corny, is the fact that they didn't have a tournament.
Yep.
But in a way, they still got those one-on-one fights. I mean, I think the way that they carried the story along in this movie was really cringeworthy. Sometimes it's like, no, so we'll split them up, and then we'll basically take them to different
Yeah.
Mortal
Tried
Kombat.
so hard.
We'll take them to different Mortal Kombat levels where we fight one-on-one, so there'll be a callback to the game, and then we can just shoot out lines and do fatalities like Jax.
Jax, yeah,
Jax. He
arms,
does that
mechanical
fatality
arms.
with the where he
the
claps
head.
his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's sick.
that's like a callback to the game. I mean, there's a lot of really cool callbacks to the game. Here's one thing that I think they did amazingly, and it's the one like I guess element of the story in this movie that I think was done like almost to perfection. Like I enjoyed it really like a lot, and it's the Scorpion
Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero like beef, like for lack of a better word, like the whole
The first
like,
scene was the best scene of the movie,
oh my god, that was
100%.
beautifully done.
and
I
they
was like,
released it on
wow.
Twitter before the movie even came out.
Yeah, that I was like, that is sick. That is so sick. The only problem with that story is Scorpion, or the Great Warrior who was before Scorpion was
Hanzo.
Scorpion. He speaks Japanese through the entire movie, and then for some reason in that last scene,
Yes.
just to
Right.
call back to the video game, goes, "Get over here." When did you learn English, dude? You're from like year
Dude.
200. What?
I was gonna
Jesus.
ask you about that because, like, did he know English before? I knew he didn't know Chinese.
Maybe he
'cause-
learned it when he's in the depths of hell.
and that's
He's
another
learned
thing.
English.
That could do it. Yeah.
And that's another thing I wanted to mention, at least, or maybe ask you, Nez, is that, like, I guess with what's the main character, Cole, like,
Cole.
he's not from the game, right? But he has that lineage, right? I
Right.
thought it would have been cool if, like, that was the first scene was Scorpion's only scene, and then he, like, became, like, the next Scorpion. I thought
So
that
I
was
thought that-
that's what I
thought
predicted.
that was
like,
what was going to happen. But then when he
Okay,
got
yeah.
his little armor suit, I was like,
Mm.
oh, so I guess he's not Scorpion. And then Scorpion just comes from hell.
out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Like, how?
I thought that was such a weird thing. Like that
he took
didn't
the
get
highway.
explained whatsoever.
He took the highway that ACDC built. I don't know.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah. I heard that's a tough one.
A lot of traffic.
But like I actually thought, like, I agree with Ricky Flex and Naz, that was the best scene. I would have loved to see more Sub-Zero because I think he was the
He was
most
awesome.
like badass character. I liked it, and they got a little, like, they kind of got a little redundant with what he was doing with like the ice like coming out of his hands and everything. But
The
then they
blood
switched-
scene. He made the
thought they did
blood
a lot.
ice.
Oh,
and
the
kill-
blood when he caught the blood.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
yeah.
that was sick.
That
So
was
like they
nuts.
got creative at the end. Like
Yeah.
like they started to do something different. They kind of saved it for that part. But I would have loved, and I thought Kano was awesome. I
Mhm.
thought like I was like, at first I was like turned off by his character. I'm like, this guy's gonna get annoying. I actually thought he got funnier as the
He got
movie
better.
went on.
I thought he was good. I just think his powers sucked. Like the eye. I know it's the same thing in the
Well,
95.
that's what he has
yeah,
in the game.
I know like in the 95 version, so I'm guessing in the game.
But in the, I think
just
in the
thought it
95
sucked.
one, it's a cybernetic eye, and that's what it's supposed to be in the game. But I think to kind of make this, make it like, I guess, grounded in reality.
Mhm.
I guess.
Yeah,
They-
yeah.
with,
We got
the-
guys coming back from
with,
hell,
like,
and
the
we're
su-
doing
with
grounded
like the
real.
superpowers and stuff like that, so that it makes sense why he would have a laser beam in his eye.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah, makes sense.
So,
I
but
thought the
one
hat
thing-
was cool though. Like we
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about before he finishes that finish.
That
They
was
made it like a
insane.
chain, like a I don't know, like when you're-
Buzzsaw?
Buzzsaw. Thank
Yeah,
you. Made it
yeah.
buzzsaw. That was awesome. I thought it looked dumb, but then when he made it as a weapon, I was like, damn. All right, that's cool. Never mind.
I thought it
Take
was
that,
dumb
take
up
back.
until that. I'm like,
Yeah,
this guy's like,
that's-
it's like Captain America
Oh,
wearing
no.
a shield on his head.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know?
exactly.
And all of a sudden, he's
Then you find
buzzsawing
out-
like half
yeah.
and half.
Yeah,
Right.
that was sick. That was sick, and I think that is a callback to the game with the fatalities as well. I mean, the fatalities in
right.
that game. I used to be like 6 years old watching my cousins play this game, and I'm just watching people's spines get ripped out of their bodies. Probably wasn't good for me, but I'll tell you what. Here's the thing. I think if I was 13 years old and I watched this, I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. You know what I mean? Like,
the
I don't
sequel
really
coming.
have to appreciate any plot holes or anything like that. But seeing it as 25, I'm like, this is pretty cool, but I see the plot holes. Yeah, I see them. You know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can't sneak it by us. Can't sneak it by us.
No, I get it. I mean, this is like a popcorn movie. Like, this is like,
100%.
fun. Like, I mean, it's with how much they dedicated to fan service, like how they went so out of their way. They would like look right in the camera, fatality. And like they'd be like,
Jax did
this
do
is
that
a
at one point.
this is a callback to the game. This movie is about a game.
Like
Like,
the flawless victory was awesome.
And then yeah.
I was like, yes.
it's like real. What do you mean victory? Okay, like all right, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I was just like, oh my gosh, like really, but no. And then when he calls himself Sub-Zero, it's like that's not my name anymore. I go by Sub-Zero now.
There was
Why?
like 4 moments in
Why?
in the movie where that happened, where they introduced like I am now this person. I am this person. Or just like I am Scorpion. now.
I am Scorpion now. Why?
I am Goro.
Why? Why are
No-
you
nothing is
Scorpion?
explained. No.
Like you don't have to say that. We all know you're Scorpion. You're shooting the thing out of your wrist. Get over here. You learn English in hell. You don't have to say I'm Scorpion. It only works for Batman. You're not Batman. Only Batman can announce himself like that. But they asked him at least they asked him. At least they asked Batman, "Who are you?" I'm Batman.
And that's a
Right?
requirement. If you play Batman, you got to say I'm Batman. You have to
Yeah.
say it. That's just comes.
But I don't know.
Of
That stuff
vengeance.
it just made me cringe a lot. Like a lot of those stuff that
Yeah.
stuff made me cringe. But I think the like more subtle callbacks are really cool. Also, some of the shots in this movie like had no business being that sick. When they introduced Liu Kang and he's standing there in the desert and they're kind of ripping off Star Wars, except there's only one
yeah,
sun.
with the
I'm
yeah.
like, oh my
Very
god, that's
sun.
so sick! Like that has no business being in this movie. Why is it so?
Yeah.
That's
Waste.
the sickest shot I've ever seen. In my
It looked
life.
amazing. It's just like literally then they go back to like a green screen in a desert or wherever they were.
Yeah.
But that shot was sick. And that was,
I was like-
honestly, I'm like, what is this going for best cinematography right now? What is it? Roger Deakins on the freaking camera? What is it? You know?
That was epic. That was epic. But yeah, I mean, Liu Kang, I thought he was kind of boring. I wasn't a huge fan of him in this movie.
Yeah.
He was kind of corny, and the Liu Kang in the other one looks like a freaking complete badass.
Yeah, he does look cool. in
That was
the
sick.
95 version.
Yeah, but I think I like Sonya in this movie. I thought she was really like a great in
Try
a
hard.
supporting role. she was a tryhard, but like I thought she did a pretty good job, and so was Jax. Honestly, I think the main character Cole, I thought he was like the most boring of the bunch.
Dude, he
And he's,
sucked.
like, the
Yeah,
chosen
they
one.
made him.
Sucked.
They made
Such
him
a
like
bad actor.
bad actor, and also the story. Like, why can't he be a good MMA fighter? And like why did he have to be bad? It made no sense. Why?
Yeah, like all of a sudden he's gonna be a champion in multiple realms of like different
Yeah,
worlds.
yeah,
but he
how
can't
is
even
that
beat
gonna
the
work?
fucking Excuse me, he couldn't even beat the 40-year-old at the local gym. Like, what
Oh.
are we talking about?
And then he's like, what? When he turns down another fight at the end, he's like, "I'm going to Hollywood." It's just like, all right, take a hike.
yeah,
Take a lap.
He was like corny as heck. He was like, I could tell by this franchise. They're like, okay, you're like the Captain America of this universe. Like, you're gonna be like, you're the model like person. You're gonna be like off screen. You're gonna be the man. Everyone's gonna look up to you. You're gonna be like the perfect specimen on screen. And I just found him really corny. Like
Yeah.
not in a charming way, but like, I want you off my screen, corny.
Yeah, it was
know?
it was kind of weird. And like, oh god, when he's oh my gosh, I don't even know. When he's fighting Goro, the four-armed guy,
Right.
Yeah.
and they're like, "Dad, get him with the uppercut."
Oh, I was gonna mention the
I'm just
uppercut.
I'm like what like why does that line have to be in there? Like why does it have to be
They say
in
it 3
there?
times throughout. The end,
do you know
that,
what-
and the beginning.
You know what part cracked me up is that when he finds out that Hanzo is like his bloodline, that it's his
Mhm.
dad basically or whatever, and then he like finds out all this information, like, you're probably gonna get all these powers or whatever, and then she's like, I want to go home. I want to go see my like wife. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, you just found out like the most
No.
important information of your life, and you're like, I'm out. Like,
Like,
you're
you come from a
superpowers,
long
dude.
line of samurai, and like, yeah, your great grandfather was one of the greatest samurais the world's ever seen, or warriors the world's ever seen. And he's like,
I want to
"That's
see my
cool.
daughter. Bye.
I'm gonna go see my yeah." And then like and then his family gets attacked by Goro. And then he's like, and then they defeat him. And he's like, "Oh, look, I got the powers. All right, well, you guys are good, right? See ya." Like, it doesn't make
Goes
any
right
sense.
back.
And then Sub-Zero shows up. Here's what I'll say. Sub-Zero added like a horror element to, like, when he shows up at that door, I'm like,
Oh yeah.
whoa.
was
I
good.
mean, you
That
kind of
was
see it
good.
coming a little bit because like the way that they were moving the camera, I was like, all right, well, somebody's at the door. But I thought it was cool. And then the way that, things would start frosting up, I thought it added an element of horror where it's like, oh, it's getting eerie now. Like, something's coming. Like, Bihan is here, and or Sub-Zero. I don't know what he was going by at that point, but but I honestly, like, I had a lot of issues with this movie, and I get why people say it's a crappy movie. Like, I've heard a lot of people say it's going to be like that it's a bad movie. It is a bad movie, but I think it was still an entertaining movie. Like, I still was able to get through it. I wasn't on my phone or anything. I was still just watching, like, waiting for the next, fight scene to happen because the movie was super sick. But at the same time, I understand why people say that they don't like it.
Score.
Like that. Yeah, Nez. Yeah, let's hear Nez's score. I want to.
That felt like a good sum of
Break this
like his
down.
take.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Exactly.
go with a 64. 64 for Mortal Kombat.
Okay. 64. I'm gonna go with a 48. I'm gonna go because like I think Nez has more of a passion, obviously, for these characters,
Yeah.
where they come from. For me, I thought the R rating was cool in terms of like the gruesomeness of it, and then like the awesome finishes, the great action. But I think like one thing we didn't talk about, and I wanted to touch upon really quick, is there was so many F-bombs in here that were like unnecessarily used. It felt like it was like a 12-year-old when they figure out they can say swears without their parents around,
Mhm.
swear whenever they want to. And that's what it felt like when they were like when the wife is like about to hit she's like, F this, and she grabs like the thing to try and kill the forearm guy. I forgot what his name is.
Yeah.
already. But and then also the cheesy lines, I don't mind it. Like, that just comes with the territory. The acting was abysmal for the most part, but I agree with Nez. It was entertaining. And maybe I'll pick my phone up in between the fight scenes, but I put my phone right down whenever they started to have those one-on-one moments. So I'm going with a 48 for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, there's definitely more clarity, or more of a story and emotional weight, I guess, than the 1995 one, that was just total random fights. and didn't really make sense. And this had much better action sequences. A little too choreographed at times, like especially the training scenes kind of lagged a bit in the middle. The second act of the movie kind of dragged a little bit, but then again, like, hey, it's Mortal Kombat. It's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get some great fight scenes, and the gore I thought was the goriness and the violence was just, that was great. That's what you want to see in Mortal Kombat. But after all, it's still a corny movie. I gave it a 42.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Fun review though.
Yeah.
It was good to watch. Like a 42, like it was good to watch, like just for the action sequences.
It's like it's not a good movie. It's an
Mhm.
entertaining movie.
Yes.
Agreed.
Movies can be good and entertaining, or just good and just like Nomadland, good movie, great movie. Entertaining? No.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
Exactly.
good. I like that.
Mortal Kombat, entertaining. Good? No.
Right. I think we have spent like multiple podcasts now just ripping on Nomadland, even though
I
just
know.
won Best Picture. It's kind of hilarious. And then we're saying like, oh, I would rather watch Mortal Kombat again than watch Nomadland again.
I
So
would
it's
watch
like-
it. Yeah, it's
That's
true.
I honestly would. All right. So that does it for our review of Mortal Kombat. Ricky Flicks. Let's get May the 4th rocking with a little bit of top billing of the greatest Star Wars characters.
Thank you, Dr. O. Okay. May the 4th is here, and our top billing is inspired by May the 4th. We have the top billing of Star Wars characters. Any characters that have appeared in Star Wars are eligible to be picked. And as always, we have a snake draft style with 5 picks each. Once a character is picked, it is off the board. But before we get going, Dr. O, what are your thoughts going to this draft? Are you excited? I know you're excited. That's a dumb question. How excited are you?
This is the easiest preparation I've ever had for a top billing. I usually have a hard time figuring out what's first rounder, second rounder, third rounder. I had 3 for each draft round automatically. I was done prepping for this draft in 6 minutes. That's how ready I am for this draft. I've always known at some point we were going to do a Star Wars character draft. I'm happy it's on the eve of May the 4th. This episode will drop on May the 4th. It's going to be amazing. And I'm excited to see what Nez has going over there on the screen.
Hello. I've been training on Tatooine for this draft for many fortnights. I don't even know if they talk like that.
Star Wars Fortnites. But no, I liked your when you lifted the
The rope?
hood. It was like that was directly in the same motion as a Luke Skywalker would do. Yes,
try
just
that
like that.
again,
Or
yeah.
Obi-Wan. More Obi-Wan.
I know.
Yeah, I was
I
thinking
think I'm-
Obi-Wan.
So for those of you listening at home, I have a Star Wars Jedi robe at my house that I remembered that I had about halfway through this podcast recording. So I had to run off screen and go get it. And then I was hiding off screen so I couldn't make my appearance just for the trailer. And Ricky Flicks and Dr. O had no idea what I was doing. But here I am. I'm ready to go. I got my Jedi robe ready, and I'm ready to do this top billing.
We knew you were up to your old Nez shenanigans.
You know, I always have a costume. You know,
He's the trailer star. Like he
Getting
he
into
stands
character.
out on these Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, there we go. Just like that. We're gonna get that pose. We're gonna screenshot it, tweet it
I'm
out. Gonna be
I'm doing
glorious.
the draft like this. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes, keep doing it like that.
Follow us on YouTube, The Drive-In.
No, only when you're drafting. When you're drafting, you talk like that.
Okay.
Do it. Start the
Well,
Do it.
let's
What's
get
the
this thing
draft order?
going. Draft order goes Dr. O, Ricky Flicks, then Nez. So, Dr. O, start us off with the top billing of Star Wars characters.
For this draft, I wanted the first or second pick. I'm happy I got the first. I think there's 2 clear best characters, or I mean, like top characters in Star Wars universe. I'm gonna take the chalk. I'm gonna go with Han Solo. I feel like we've talked about Han Solo so many times. Harrison Ford on this podcast, maybe the greatest action star in the history of Hollywood, and arguably his most famous role alongside Indiana Jones. the coolest cat in the galaxy. Doesn't need a lightsaber, right? When he's surrounded by him. Only used it once, I believe, if we're looking back at the Star Wars universe, in the beginning of Empire Strikes Back. And then, I mean, and he's just wheeling Princess Leia, one of the baddest gangsters in the galaxy. I have to go Han Solo with the first overall. I think it's undisputed.
Undisputed.
Undisputed. That's not
Undisputed.
fair.
Undisputed.
No.
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Top
No,
two. Top two pick, I
that
think.
wasn't a semantics thing. It was just like
Yeah.
there's a lot of good characters.
Yeah, as in like
Yeah.
I think there's a clear top two, and I think if you picked the one I would pick, I would have been like, okay.
Okay, so yeah, so I shouldn't have said that because I did say at the beginning of the draft that I had two people I would have picked. So
Oh yeah,
One
you
of the
did say
two.
that.
yeah,
Nez,
so I gotta go
you-
Han Solo.
Nez, you liked it 1-1, right?
I like it at 1-1. I like it. It's not my 1-1, but
Okay.
I understand. I know. Dr. O is has always been a big Han Solo fan. So for Dr. O, I definitely see this as a 1-1. You know, these
Yeah.
drafts are subjective, right? So, for Dr. O's draft, 1-1. For a lot of people's draft, I could see it. He's one of the coolest guys in the galaxy. So I completely understand.
Yeah, definitely.
Someone that deserved his own solo movie, right? And I wish
Oh,
Harrison
God.
Ford got to actually have his own like as the character. I wish he was like acting in his heyday as Han Solo the same time as like where all these spin-offs are happening, so we do the character some justice. Alden
Yes.
Ehrenreich, you could say it wasn't necessarily bad, but it wasn't necessarily good either. So it's kind of the Star
A
Wars
lot of
movie that is kind of
reshoots.
forgotten, the most forgotten Star Wars movie. That and
good reason.
Rise of Skywalker, I would say.
True that.
But all right, Dr. O picked Han Solo at 1-1. It goes to me, Ricky Flicks. I'm going to go with my number one by a hair. That's Darth Vader. Darth Vader, just the costume alone, unbelievable. His storyline, the culmination of I guess I could say Anakin Skywalker to become Darth Vader at the end of Revenge of the Sith is all time. That's why Revenge of the Sith is so great, at least in my eyes. And James Earl Jones, just absolute masterclass voicing that actor or voicing that character. And finally, some may say the greatest scene in Star Wars. For me, it's easily top 5, probably top 3, and that's in Rogue One, Darth Vader at the end.
It's pretty sick. I don't know if it beats Duel of the Fates though.
I know that's my favorite.
Or Anakin versus
Episode 3.
Obi-Wan in episode 3. Yeah,
Empire Strikes Back.
that
I
was
was
good.
thinking
That's
also
my number one.
it's number 2.
Yeah, it's crazy that we just referenced 2 prequel ones, but interesting.
I gotta retweet the blog I posted last year on May the 4th, which was like the top 5 Star Wars lightsaber scenes of all time.
Oh,
That's
you
all-
do, yeah.
It's coming at you on the blog on the
It'll be
blog
dropping
and
today.
Twitter tomorrow.
Today.
Today.
I mean, Darth Vader's one of the most iconic villains of all time, if not the most iconic villain
Yeah.
of all time. I mean, I don't know anybody who's more, popular, I guess. I mean, he's a legend. He's amazing. He's amazing with the lightsaber, and he's scary. He doesn't say a ton of words, but he's still intimidating, and that's how you know you have a good villain. So I like the pick.
Yeah. It's him and Joker, man.
I was
think
gonna
those are the
say
top
Joker.
two.
True,
Those are
yeah.
the top 2.
Yeah.
But all right, that's my pick. Nez, finish out the first round with your first pick.
I'm so thrilled. I still have my 1-1.
Oh,
My 1-1 is still on my big board. I still have the 1-1, and that's Yoda. Yoda has always been, from the second I started watching Star Wars, Yoda has always been my favorite Star Wars character. He's the most powerful Jedi. He's old. He's wise. He's tiny. He's kind of cute. Like, I'm not even talking baby Yoda. I'm talking like real Yoda. He's kind of cute just because he's so tiny and he just like kicks so much ass. He's very wise. He's funny, depending on which movie you watch. He's very wise. And he's just absolutely electric on screen. Every time Yoda's in a scene, he steals the scene because he's Yoda. They could be in the Jedi Council. There'll be a whole circle. He doesn't even have to be talking. You're looking at Yoda, man. And there's some freaky looking guys in there.
Smallest guy at those council meetings, but he holds the most weight.
Oh
know?
yeah, 100%.
100%. And he's
Holds
so
the most
awesome.
weight, he does.
Yeah, I was about to say his voice makes him iconic too. It's like the way he speaks. No one speaks like Yoda, and his sayings do or do not. There is no try. Like there is like
Legendary.
yes. Like I don't know how many times my dad has like said that when I like to me when I was growing up, right? Especially when I'm doing chores and stuff. I'll do it as a joke.
I didn't
But-
understand that. I didn't understand that quote until I was in like high school.
Half the things you don't understand what Yoda says until like you get older, just because he says it in such a weird manner. But I love the pick. He was my first. He's definitely worthy of first round pick. He was my number 3.
Another underrated lightsaber scene in Revenge of the Sith with Yoda and or lightsaber, yeah, Palpatine.
Yoda's not supposed to use a lightsaber. He's too powerful. Sorry.
Dun
Some-
dun 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 dun
Somebody
dun
had to
dun.
say something like that, you know.
All right, I think we all got our first on our draft board, so that's interesting.
I'm
Nez,
happy about that.
start us in the second round with your second pick.
All right. This one. So we already drafted the coolest person in the galaxy. I'm drafting the second coolest person in the galaxy, and that's Lando Calrissian, baby. An absolute icon. Kind of a snake, but he kind of makes up for it. He's an iconic role, and just a pleasure to see on screen. He's just like a fun guy. He's a little flirty. But he's he's boys with Han Solo. You know, they go way back. You know, they've been through a lot of stuff. And he's just cool. He's smooth. Billy D. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and Solo, the romantic with the robot was kind of weird. But if you just go off of Billy D, it's pretty sick.
We don't talk about that movie.
Yeah, as we said, very forgettable. Although Donald Glover, I think we're getting a series with him as Lando, which would be kind
I'll
of
take
cool.
that. I'll take that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I mean Lando, Billy D. Williams, and Harrison Ford, 2 of the coolest cats, man. 70s,
Oh, yeah.
80s, though they're up there. And I'm glad that Billy D. Williams got a chance to play Lando again in the Rise of Skywalker. That was cool.
True.
Great pick. It goes back to me. I'm torn now. I didn't think Lando would go there. I thought you were going to pick. I have 4 people in my second round or my like second slot of second tier. Yoda is one of them, and now there's 3. And I don't want one of them to go to Dr. O because of his first pick. That's a tease, but I'm sorry. I didn't say the name. I don't think I could allow him to have that, but I don't know. I'm torn.
Just so many good characters on the board.
I'm
here.
taking Luke Skywalker. Give me the Skywalker boys. Like, come on now. Like, I'm doing it. I'll let Dr. O have that if he wants it, but Luke Skywalker, like the main character of Star Wars, like the best trilogy out of the 3 trilogies in the franchise or in all of Star Wars. Give me Luke Skywalker. When you are baking like you're with a wiffle ball bat or with a toy lightsaber, you want to be Luke Skywalker. You don't want to be Darth Vader. You don't want to be any other Jedi. You want to be Luke Skywalker. I'll take that in the second round.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think he would go. I think Luke Skywalker, like early on in the franchise, like is not that. I don't know. He's not that likable. I would say, like in Episode 4, like
I agree.
Han Solo, much more likable. But you know what? Like after the Mandalorian season 2,
Ooh.
that catapulted him for me. That's one of the greatest scenes in Star Wars lore, and that's obviously come from the Mandalorian, which just released with Luke Skywalker. So I can't blame you for taking it. And if I had if you let that slide to me, and I had Luke Skywalker and Han Solo on my board, I mean that would have been unbelievable. So I think it was a great strategic pick as well.
It was like this. I think would be is the toughest pick in the whole draft was just then. Because since you picked Han Solo at 1, like it was so tough. And I think I'll throw it to you, Dr. O, for your second and third picks here. Like, okay. Go ahead.
I'm going to go. I want this in the second round. I'm going Grogu.
Wow.
I'm going to go Grogu in the second round. This is the greatest character in The Mandalorian so far. You could say this is kind of a surprising pick. But I think Grogu has made such an impact, such a worldwide phenomenon. He's put Star Wars back on the map after a disappointing, episode 8 and 9 from, Disney. They finally showed they could do something right. And the marketing Baby Yoda in that manner has proven what they can do with Star Wars and show the kind of what was expected to happen. And then his partnership with The Mandalorian, with Pedro Pascal, it's the cutest thing in the world. most like gifable, memeable Star Wars character ever. And I hope we get him back for season 3. We need him. Grogu. I'm gonna go with him as my second round pick.
How many lines does he have?
He's
Doesn't
make
matter.
baby noises.
I was targeting
Great
him in
actor. He doesn't act with his vocals. He's a physical actor.
Oh, okay, got it. All right.
for me, I had him circled as a 4th rounder. So like that's a great pick. I'm a little upset you took him this early. I thought with the second you're gonna do something else, but you might do it in the 3rd, so I won't say anything else.
Okay. This is tough because I just picked a small, cute guy. I want to pick someone else that can't fall in line with that one. I think I'm just gonna go Princess Leia, dude. I'm just gonna go Princess
Wow.
Leia. She's like the most badass woman in the galaxy. Like, how can I not pick her? Maybe other than Ahsoka Tano. Sorry for teasing a pick, but Princess Leia with a blaster. I mean, that's like something that really wasn't seen during the 70s and 80s, maybe other than Sigourney Weaver and Alien and Aliens, like seeing like that type of character, like that strong female figure. And like even with the Star Wars games, like she's the one, like you could be her Princess Leia now. You're blasting people. And then I have like the power couple now with Han Solo and Princess Leia. So I'm happy after picking her with Grogu.
No, great pick. All-time hair in the first trilogy.
Legendary.
All-time
yeah.
hair. Yeah, so no, great pick.
She
All-time
created
scene
a
when she goes
hairstyle.
floating through space
Yeah.
and she uses the Force. All-time.
Oh, jeez, don't get me started. Don't get me started.
All-time music though. Her music is great. What's it called? You know, her theme music in Star Wars is always amazing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Help me,
Beautiful.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
absolutely.
Legend. All right. That kind of leads into my next pick because where did that video come from?
I can't believe.
Came from R2D2. That's my next pick. Pair him up with Luke Skywalker for me and Darth Vader. I had to do that. R2D2 is my pick.
Okay,
All
Ricky's board's looking strong. I didn't want to take R2 after Grogu because that's like 2 like cute characters. Like I wanted to
Yep.
diversify my list, but I think Ricky getting him now. Ricky, you're in a powerful position with those 3 characters, but we got 2 more picks to go still.
Yeah, we got a long way to go. Nez, thoughts on the pick? You looked upset.
R2D2. I'm shocked because I'm picking next, so I'm shocked that you picked R2D2 over who I'm picking. But I'm honestly R2 is a great great pick. That scene, I think, is it in the 3rd one where he does all that crazy stuff? I mean, he's really incapable in the 2nd trilogy, but in the 1st trilogy, he is badass. He's got a little bit of an attitude. He like flicks somebody. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong guy. Sorry, that's the wrong. The flicking off. That was our BB-8.
BB-8.
Yeah, BB-8.
But he is the OG. He's the
Yeah.
OG droid. So I like R2. You can tell he doesn't even speak English, but he's got like some spunk to him. He's got a little
Mhm.
attitude. So
He looks great. The blue and white, like all time.
oh yeah.
All right, your pick here.
I mean, arguably the greatest Jedi, like at least lightsaber fighter of all time, right? Like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Nobody saw when you said this. When they said, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope."
Oh my
and then
god!
you said, "This
I
leads me into my
literally
next
didn't
pick."
realize He's still in the
No,
board.
you didn't pick Obi-Wan Kenobi after that. I was like, "Oh my
The
god!"
Grogu pick got me like I gotta pick.
I
a cute
didn't
character
realize
now.
Obi-Wan was still on the board.
He defeated Darth Vader
Wait,
or
I-
Anakin
I have a-
Skywalker, who's the greatest of
Yeah.
all time, and then he trained Luke. I mean, he could be the greatest Jedi of all
So,
time potentially, and I'm getting him in
this-
round 3.
This is an interesting pick because I'm guessing you want the Ewan McGregor or original trilogy. Like, which one do you want on the graphic here? This is big.
That's actually tough.
Like, you have to pick one. I can't
mean,
like.
I mean,
Or
for the
ca- or-
graphic, I mean,
I
it's the
guess I could
same
do both.
character, but
Yeah, I know. I guess I could do both. Yeah, I can make
I
it work.
can't believe I freaking forgot about Obi-Wan.
He's in my tier here.
Pick Princess Leia over Obi-Wan.
yeah, I was shocked by that too. I think you might be able to see it on the replay that I was shocked that you picked Princess Leia over Obi-Wan. But I don't know, Doctor O, any advice on which one I should pick for the graphic here?
You pick the Ewan McGregor one if you're smart.
Yeah, he's getting his own series.
You're the chosen one.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going with that Ewan McGregor. Just for the graphic, it's the same character at the end of the day. So
I could probably
Awesome
split it up.
facial
Though.
hair.
Split it up.
Hair combination. Awesome hair and facial
And
hair
beard. It's
Mhm.
wow.
God
and
dang it!
all time. Yeah, actually, I won't say
Guys,
anymore. in
I don't
case
want to
tease
say
picks.
anything, but I think I'm going. I think I'm winning this. Like this next pick right here, going into round 4. Right, I'm starting off round 4.
Mhm.
This next pick is winning me the draft, hands down, and that's Chewbacca.
Dang it. That's what I was going to go with next.
Chewbacca, legend, an absolute legend with his like voice and just the way that he is on screen, how insane he is, but also his loyalty to Han Solo. Chewbacca, a beast.
Yeah, I was going to go that next. I thought Dr. O was going to pick that too. So he has the Han Solo Chewbacca right next to each other, that duo.
Yeah, I
And
thought
then-
about it. It was
and-
Batman and Robin.
And then on my big board, I also had Obi-Wan high on my big board, but I had what's his name? R2D2 right next to it. I was like, oh, he picked a cute character. I gotta get him in case Nez gets him there. Chewbacca in the 4th round is almost criminal to me, but then again, like it makes sense by how the board has gone so far. Dr. O, thoughts on the pick?
Yeah, it was good. I was gonna do Chewbacca or Princess Leia, and I did Princess Leia, and I was realizing that's like the same logic if I picked either one because they're both synonymous with Han Solo. So it's I don't know. I'm gonna need a strong 4th and 5th so I can compete with you two. I'm so pissed off at myself right now.
Well, it's my pick now, and this is gonna be a strategy pick because the next 4 on my list, 2 of them are kind of the same. So I'm just gonna pick one now, or I'm gonna pick the highest on my big board is gonna be Darth Maul, all-time lightsaber, Duel of the Fates. We talked about it. All-time villain, even though the prequel series kind of sucks, but Darth Maul was like, I think people realize how great of a character he is. Just when in Solo, when he appears at the end, like people were freaking out and hoping for like a sequel or something related to Darth Maul. We never know, you might see it. And also underrated Clone Wars with Darth Maul, that was all time as well, that scene.
Right.
So Darth Maul is my pick.
He's the only good part of that, or like arguably, he's the best part of that prequel movie, episode 1. And arguably he's the best part of the Solo movie. Just that little tease right there, the post-credit tease. Like you could say that for both. I mean, he's intense. Like he's an amazing villain. Doesn't have to say much. He's got one of the most innovative, cool lightsabers I've ever seen. We all practice being Darth Maul with a broom at some point in our life if you watched Star Wars. So great pick.
Doc?
It's just fun to watch because he's the double lightsaber. Like he has the unique one. Like other than him having that lightsaber, you have Kylo Ren with his like little cross saber, and then like there's nothing that really competes with it.
Ewan
So-
McGregor hates that. You see those videos that have been going viral lately about him
No.
just hating on that. He just keeps saying it's not a true lightsaber. You don't need that if you really know how to wield a lightsaber. He's
Right.
done like
So he's
1,000
just
interviews
ripping
and
on it.
always mentions it. Yeah.
That's so
Okay.
funny.
Well, yeah, I that's good though. Like Darth Maul's all-time cool villain. So I like
look.
it, and like they get the look too. How many kids like have their parents like or like trying like
Yes.
Oh,
have them
paint their face.
paint some mazes
Yeah.
on their face?
Halloween character.
Usually they're pretty good too. Little cosplay action for the kids.
Oh, Daddy Daycare. Daddy Daycare. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When the funny comic, the blonde character, I forget his name in the movie. He's Darth Maul. That was cool.
Yeah, what's the brat, right? Like right, you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? It's the
I don't know
brat.
his name though. Yeah. I won't be able to.
Loser, 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 loser.
But all right, Dr. O, your last 2 picks are here.
I mean, I think I got to save myself some face here. I go Boba Fett. Boba Fett's going to be,
Good
I think
pick.
I'm getting that in the 4th round. I think is huge. All-time cool character, all-time cool look. I'm happy I got him there. And then I'm moving on to my 5th pick. Unless you guys have any thoughts on it before I say my next one.
That was
Oh,
the one I was
amazing pick.
toying with. for the last
Deserves
pick.
redemption. I mean, he has a cult following of fans. I mean,
I feel like
Boba Fett did not get the respect that he deserved. The way that he died was so embarrassing after being such like a cool character. Or the way, the way he died, quotation marks, quote unquote died. But he's a sick character, and I know Star Wars fans were clamoring for a spinoff. And we got the Mandalorian, so that kind of counts.
Right. And like, I mean, he was awesome in the Mandalorian when
Yeah.
he came in
Yeah.
there. Like, I
And he'll
think
get
it
it.
was like almost like not the same level as Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker is Star Wars, you know. But having Boba Fett there, a guy who laid the groundwork for a Mandalorian, and seeing him kick butt in front of him, you're like, oh my god, this is what I've been waiting for since season 1. You know.
Right. Yeah. No, my thoughts exactly. That's the one I was toying with. Dr. Joy, your last pick.
Okay. I think I either punt my draft with this pick or I keep it alive. It's a tough choice. I mean, I'm just gonna go with the Mandalorian, dude.
No!
I'm just going with Boba Fett and the Mandalorian. I'm taking both of them. The Mandalorian is
Wow.
maybe even cool with Fett.
Wow.
I just want it. I'm basically taking two of the same guy because the look wise. I wanted someone else, but I love the Mandalorian so much. I took Grogu and Mandalorian, the
This
two
is-
best things that Disney has done with Star Wars.
This
I know
is
Ricky Flick's
ridiculous.
pissed 'cause you did not
I-
think I was gonna take two. Yeah,
We should have done a cap on freaking
two
Mandalorians.
Mandalore.
Like, I literally
Two
picked Darth
Mandalores.
Maul
Should
thinking,
have done a Mandalorian rule.
yeah, like, I literally picked Darth Maul saying, all right, well, I'm going to get either Boba Fett or Mandalorian with the next pick, so whatever. This is, like,
Is there a trade on the table?
Wow.
yeah, I would do
Is there a trade on the table?
I would do a trade, but I guess we could wait till...
Wait till the end. We'll
Yeah,
negotiate.
This is ridiculous.
Negotiate. What is this?
Like,
I think that made my list awesome. To be
that's
honest.
ridiculous. Like,
Are we
Boba
doing
Fett and
Mandalorians?
Yeah, I got two.
Mandalorian.
Yes, the Mandalorian are taking over the universe, not just Star Wars.
it's ridiculous. This is
draft.
ridiculous.
Wow. Flix is highly upset.
Yeah, because now that was like the last in my tier that I wanted to pick.
Your first couple tiers are gone. There's a top tier. Okay, I'm not even gonna get into it.
No, because I know which ones you're
was-
thinking
There's
of.
two more that I think I want. I was like, there's three people total. I was debating. Two are similar, and this one I was just like, this is the coolest guy. This is my
can't believe-
favorite out of these characters. I'm taking it.
I think that would have won me the draft too. That. Wow. Okay. Well,
Great
I gotta pick
defense.
someone. I have a lot of joke picks, and I don't want to do a joke pick because I actually can win this. Crap,
Ricky Flicks
dude.
coming off like a 4 or 5 top billing losing
No,
streak.
that's incorrect. 3 straight. I won the previous one, so incorrect. Um,
Wait, I won
Oh
3
my
in a row,
God.
and then Dave and then Doctor
No,
and I
I-
tied, so that's 4.
no. You won 2 in a row. Then this past one.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna go.
He's really stressed, guys.
Yeah, this is I'm.
He can't hit 4 in a row.
All right, I'll play it safe, I guess. I'll go Palpatine. Everything's ruined. What is life?
Guys, true love was ruined for Ricky Flicks today, and in this
Just-
draft, I think it's carrying over.
Just
Really struggling right now.
Nez,
Love is dead. His draft is dead.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Wait, I have 2. I think I only have 1 pick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Miss Irrelevant.
Oh, okay. So I've had a lot of fan favorite picks, but this next pick is a personal favorite. And I guess the way that I would describe this pick is it's a trap. Admiral Akbar. May he rest in peace. One of my personal favorite lines in any movie ever is that it's a trap. And just like him and all of his other friends from his species, just amazing. Just they steal the scene. He has a great accent. You know, he's running the fleet with an iron fist, and he's doing it. I mean, how long was he an admiral for? Like 20, 30 years. I mean, who knows how long he was doing it before then? This guy's a legend. This guy's a beast.
He was in the sequel trilogy.
Wait,
Wasn't
he
he?
was? I thought, yeah, he died.
Oh, he died. Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, they
you're
blew
right.
his ship
Never
up.
mind. Yeah. But maybe no. I'm thinking it was was it Rogue One? I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think he's in Rogue One too.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I was thinking of. Okay.
Yeah.
I do recall seeing him in a newer movie. It must have been obviously one of those.
But all-time quote, Family Guy did a movie on it or episode on it. So great quote.
Thank you.
But
The
that round,
the family guys are awesome. If someone
Yeah.
drafted a Family Guy version of this, I would have no problem.
Mhm.
Well, that rounds out our draft. Before we do honorable mentions, which I know at least I have a lot, I assume you all do as well. Dr. O has Han Solo, oof, Grogu, Princess Leia, Boba Fett, and The Mandalorian. Ricky Flicks has Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, R2D2, Darth Maul, and Palpatine. And Nez has Yoda, Lando, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Chewbacca, and Admiral Akbar. Dr. O, honorable mentions.
I wanted to take Mace Windu. Like, if you can get Samuel L. Jackson in any draft, that's a good thing. Purple Saber, how are you? And then Qui-Gon with Liam Neeson. Like, those two, all-time hair. That's like literally opposite of one another. You got Samuel L. Jackson, one of the best-looking bald dudes, one of the best-looking tops of a head. And then you have Liam Neeson with an all-time ponytail. And then I had Ahsoka Tano just because I liked her. She's really big in Star Wars lore. I'm not big in Clone Wars or anything like that. I really loved her appearance in The Mandalorian. I would never draft her, but I just want to show her some love. But then
Nice.
K2SO and Cassian Andor, those two more from Rogue One. That's my
Nice.
honorable mentions.
Nez?
Oh my God, the legend, the absolute legend. Did you miss out on Grand Moff Tarkin?
I did not say him.
Grand Moff Tarkin,
The
absolute
Grand
legend.
Moff Tarkin.
Dude, he makes. I mean, when I'm sitting here and I'm watching the new trilogy, and I'm watching these freaking pipsqueaks, okay, run the First Order, I want to punch him in the face because Tarkin wasn't playing no shit back then. Okay, I'll have to edit that out. Tarkin was a
Just your
beast.
passion coming out.
Yeah, I'm a big Tarkin fan. I love how they brought him back for Rogue One, but yeah. And then I think the only other one that you didn't say. Did you have Poe Dameron on there in your honorable mentions?
No, I did not.
Poe Dameron, one of the good things from the new trilogy.
All right. Yeah, I guess I should just say it. I was toying between Mace Windu and Palpatine, but I choked just because I'm so flustered still.
Guys, if
Palpatine's not a bad
listeners,
pick.
listeners, if you guys want to tweet at Ricky Flicks and show him some support, he's really having a rough time after this draft. If somebody wants to wish,
I still think I have a
like
great
some-
draft.
some-
I just
I
really wanted
give him some kind
a
words.
Mandalorian on my draft board, and I thought it was a lock. Like
took
I just
two.
thought, like I
Dr.
literally
Mo stole
wanted,
that from you.
like I
Like
would
a
never
true
beat.
Sith.
There's no restrictions on it, so I'm not going to veto. But wow, like just out of, that was tough for me.
I
But
honestly think that was a steal in the 5th round, and
I thought I was getting it.
I think if you want to make Ricky Flex happy, all the listeners here, tweet at him pictures of J-Lo and Ben Affleck, old
great.
pics or new pics,
Yes.
whatever. Maybe do side by side and just say "True love is not dead," and then tweet it at Ricky Flex.
Yeah,
and then we will
please.
retweet them.
At Ricky Flicks. But yeah, so a few more I had, or I haven't said one yet. General Grievous, all-time
nice.
scene with Obi-Wan Kenobi in that lightsaber.
All-time coffer.
Yeah, all-time coffer as well. Jabba the Hutt, just
Ooh.
Jabba the Hutt. And let's see, Ewoks. Ewoks are just cool. I have cool socks of Ewoks too. Love them. And then yes. And then finally, one where I actually thought about after Mace Windu, just a stormtrooper.
Okay, just a stormtrooper, not Finn.
No.
Okay.
No.
You don't like Finn?
Terrible.
I don't mind Finn.
Worse-
I think his character didn't get written.
People
well in the
hate
last
on-
one, but
People hate on Han Solo carrying a lightsaber, just cutting open a camel or whatever the heck. Him actually being able to hold it to fight is the worst thing Star Wars has ever done.
or that Rey was a Jedi master taking on Kylo Ren in her first ever movie.
Yeah, that's bad too.
No, it's okay. No, that's no, but it's I don't know. I like Finn. Like, I don't mind him. I think I like John Boyega. I think he did a
Yeah.
good job. I think his character
Well,
wasn't
Finn's a
written
good
properly.
character. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that Star Wars just
Tough.
really
He
they
looked.
did- like,
The
they
second
did a
movie
real
was tough for him.
disservice.
Dude, I liked where he
Him
was
and
heading.
Rose.
I like we're starting off in The Force Awakens. Like, whoever thought of
Yeah.
that, like a stormtrooper, like joining right
Yeah,
the
mhm.
resistance, right? That was pretty ingenious. I thought that was cool, like a different twist to the
Yeah.
series.
Mhm.
But
I want to say C3PO too. We gotta show some love.
Most screen time or appearances or whatever. I think C3PO
Huh.
throughout the
Interesting.
because he's in every movie. So,
Yeah.
but no, the new trilogy, like not a lot of love. Like no Rey, no Kylo Ren, just
No
not
Poe,
no Poe, no Finn. Just,
no Poe, no Mo.
yeah, and then finally, I'm just glad no one picked this person, but I'm just saying it just because I think his name should be said. Jar Jar Binks.
Oh yeah, I thought about it.
You did?
I
That would
thought
have been
about it.
insane, Mr. Irrelevant.
I know. I couldn't do it though. No, Admiral Akbar has a special place in my heart. So there's no way I wasn't going to do it. But Jar Jar, I used to love Jar Jar Binks when I was little. And then I grew up and found out everybody hated him. And I was like, why? And then I watched the first one again. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I get it.
Mhm.
Is there any
You know who's kind of cool?
I was gonna say, was there any mixes though? Naz, you're a DJ, like that's where like it's a trap, and then like it's a drop or anything like that. Do you know of anything like that?
Yeah. No, people
Okay.
have done that before for
Okay.
sure. It's a trap.
All right, I was gonna say that's a must.
Oh yeah. What's the name of that racer guy in Phantom Menace?
I don't remember. I rewatched Phantom Menace I think a year ago.
Sebulba.
Ooh,
Sebulba.
that sounds right.
I wouldn't draft him in my top 5 Star Wars characters, but he was kind of cool too in that movie.
Mhm. Cool thing. Sorry, I forgot what you just said, but going back to something what someone just said earlier is there's a cool video on YouTube called Hell's Club, and it's starts with Revenge of the Sith with Anakin and Obi-Wan walking into the club, and then it's all these movies just combining that have club scenes like Saturday Night Fever, and then it has like Empire Strikes Back, like Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker fighting in the club, like just all this movie montage into a club in a really cool scene. So check that out on YouTube. You won't
We should
regret it.
tweet it. It's an insane
Tweet it
edit.
out. Tweet it out. Yeah.
Yeah. But that does it for our top billing of Star Wars characters. Highly entertaining, highly controversial. Nez, I'll throw it back to you to round this out.
All right. Thanks so much, Ricky. I'll make sure to check on you tonight to make sure you're doing okay.
Thank you, sir.
That will conclude this episode of the Drive-In Podcast. Thank you all for listening, and please leave us a review wherever you are listening to this and rate us 5 stars. Next week, we will be reviewing Michael B. Jordan's Without Remorse, which is out on Amazon Prime. So make sure you tune in for that, and make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at the Drive-In Pod. We are on Facebook and YouTube as The Drive-In, and make sure you check out our blog on a daily basis on thedriveinpod.com. Thank you so much for listening, and we will
Smell ya.